All right. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome. Gonna get this started here in a second. I literally just got to the place I'm streaming from now, so cool. Let me go ahead and send out a couple messages, and we'll get things started over here. All right, and let me confirm if I'm even live. Hi. Wow, Nat's from the other side of the building. What's good? BTC 20Ks? I don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't think we're getting 20K anytime soon. All right, let me go ahead and send this out. One sec, guys. Patrick, what's up? What's up, Patrick? Man, shout out to boy Patrick. That boy been going crazy. All right, one sec, guys. In the meantime, drop a message here in the chat. Let me know where you're plugging in from. Let me know what setups you have your eyes on as well. Like, I know there's a couple key things. Market really got moving, especially the crypto market started to make some moves. So let me know what pairs, assets, any questions. Drop them now. That way I can answer them as I'm going through everything. So, but yeah, shout out to y'all. Y'all have been crazy consistent on here. Some of you I know every single week dialed in. Okay. GU sells dímelo. What time frame are you looking at on those? Cetify is moving. Oh, okay. Shakira Diaz. Oh, you were on yesterday too. Hi, Mike. What's up, Miguel? What's good, bro? All right. Yep. Good stuff. Hi, Mike. In your bio, the trade copy, how does it work? Let me explain it to you here in a second. I'll tell you what, right now, I don't know how confident I am with the camera and everything here. So we'll see. And not the camera, I guess that's not what I meant to say, but the internet right now. So hopefully the camera works out and we're all good here. But yeah, guys, I'm going to dive into quite a bit here. I'm going to look at a couple things. We got crypto going absolutely crazy, so I might do a little bit extra on there. We got indices. If you were on the live stream this morning, for all the members, you guys caught a nice move with US 30 with me. We'll dive into the news events that are coming as well. We got CPI for CAD, CPI for pound pairs. Dollar is going to start moving a bit more Wednesday. So we'll go over quite a few things, but let me go ahead and answer these questions. Let me go ahead and say what up to the squad here. Kev is in here. What's up? Seth, we got Utah, BTC 20Ks. I don't really see that happening anytime soon. We might not ever see that happen again. What up, Patrick? Again, shout out to Patrick. That boy has been cooking them withdrawals, passing accounts. Dude's on a flow state like no other. I love to see it. We got here. So Cetify, I had talked about Cetify at one point. I think I shared that somewhere. I think I shared that on my Telegram. So I shared it before. I got cops on, and yeah, we're up a decent amount. For those of you that have been locking in bonk also for the last, I don't know, year or so, also crushing it. Well, we'll go into those things. And then give me 1 second, guys. Just had to sneeze like 3 times. So okay, the trade copier. How does it work? So you guys can you can search Traders Connect. Basically, you make one of your trading accounts the master account, and then whatever you do on that account, it'll copy over to different accounts. Now, if you have different account sizes, you can modify kind of the ratios. So if you're risking 1% on 100K, it'll risk 1% on a 10K, or you can adjust it so that it's risking less, but the proportions are even. And I think they're doing trade copies now with C Trader, and I think maybe DX Trade. Yeah. So I think both. I think they do that, and obviously MetaTrader by default. I think they're working on Match Trader and Trade Locker. I think those like in like pre-beta. But yeah, so it's a good way to manage a lot of, if you have multiple accounts across the board. Easy way for you to take care of all of those things. I think it's super useful, super useful. You got your live account, you have other accounts that you have, just connect them all, and then you run it up that way. But what's up? Looks like US already gave us some sell structure after we took it long this morning. Yeah, I'll dive into that. What's up, Fabri? We got the boy from Costa Rica. What's up, Eric? East Coast, Beast Coast, Bitcoin indices. Yeah, it was a crazy day. All right, what's up, Enrique, Miriam? Awesome. We'll dive in, guys. Love to see you guys here in the chat. I will start, I think. El de español fue ayer, Miguel. Puedes ver la grabación. Ese se dio ayer. So, let's see, where do I want to start? I'm going to start with crypto. I think I got to start with crypto. It's been a crazy day. So we'll dive in there, and then yeah, we'll go through everything. So, all right, you guys should be able to see my screen now. Cool. So, what are you looking at right now, right? You're looking at the total. This is the total market cap of the entire crypto market. So when you see something like this, again, this is not Bitcoin. This is not Ethereum. This is everything all in one. Having a grand time over here. And I like to look at this as kind of like the baseline, because this gives us just an overall understanding. Okay, what's the market in general doing? Bitcoin itself isn't the entire market, right? If you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's about 55% of the market. Whereas, okay, well, how do you know what the rest of the other 45% is doing? So in my opinion, this gives us kind of a better perspective on what's going on. And I mean, guys, when you see this right now, right? When you look at this chart and you're identifying structure, for example, what happened today? What can you guys tell me? What happened today in regards to the structure? Now, while I get answers in the chat here regarding the structure and what that might mean for us as well, someone asked about risk management. Someone is struggling to pass your account, and it's been 7 months. So when that's the case for 7 months, is it a matter of just not making enough? Or, do you still have the same account after 7 months? So give me a little bit more context there. I do see that your risk management is 0.3%. So I don't think you're probably not, obviously you're not over leveraging. So it seems like you're just not hitting the target. You can't get to like the 8 or 10%. So let me know, give me a little bit more context. The more the better, obviously. Same account for 7 months. Okay, also I want to give you some perspective too. If you've just kept the same account for 7 months and you haven't gone 5% drawdown in a day or 10% drawdown in the account overall, that's amazing. Like, most people don't even make it a month with the same account. So the fact that you haven't, broken those rules, that's actually a really good sign. It does show more maturity, probably a bit more disciplined work. So good work. So I would say first consider that as a win. Now, obviously, there's certain levels of profitability, but I will also add that how you trade challenges is different than how, I'll just share I'm going to go into a little tangent before I get back to the charts, guys. But, and yes, it is a break of structure, guys, and this means that the market is bullish with the chart that I was just showing. But in regards to where you're at, one, there's an objective. And trading normally does not have an objective. But if you're going for like accounts like in what you're trading, you do have to hit a certain level. And so with that being said, that may not be the way that you trade overall. The way that you risk when you're looking to pass doesn't have to be the way that you trade it once you have it. Because if you're trading real money and if you're trading with that much capital, the key is profits, but with capital preservation as well as a part of the process. If you have to ask yourself, okay, well, one, am I willing to risk a bit more to actually get the job done? Because if you think about it, let's say the goal is to hit, and you know what, I guess I will show you guys my screen here, because this is an interesting topic that I want to go into. So look at, and we're really mostly going to focus on risk reward here, right? So hypothetically, the objective is 8%. Let's look at a few scenarios. Okay. So take a look at this, and I think this is going to be super helpful for everybody that's on this call right now, because I'm sure you guys have dealt with similar situations. So let's say the objective is 8%. Now, you can approach this with different ways, right? There's kind of, let's say there's we're going to do like 3 different risk processes. So you'll do, let's say, trader 1, 1% risk. Trader 2, you have 0.5% risk. And you have trader 3, which is, I'll use your example specifically, 0.3% risk. Now, let's assume that all 3 traders somehow, in a perfect world, they all have similar probabilities. So let's say that, or actually, you know what? Now that I have you right here, what's your risk to reward? Like, how much do you go for usually? Yeah, what's your risk to reward, and do you know kind of the win rate that you have? So let's say that you shoot for a 3 risk to reward, 3 risk to reward trades, and your win rate is 35%, and you have 0 break-evens somehow. It's either win or lose, right? Let's just assume that's the case. All right, so here is the scenario, okay? So trader 1, 1% risk, trader 2, 0.5% risk, and then trader 3, 0.3% risk. Now, obviously, the less the risk, the better the chances are that you won't lose the account. But the less the percentage risk, the longer it's just going to take. So imagine that in this example here, right? And we're going to go through different kinds of ideas just so you kind of have a different outlook. So let's say we have 10 trades, okay? And let's say in these 10 trades, actually we'll do 20 trades. And in these 20 trades, it works out perfectly, right? You have a 35% win rate. So 20 trades, that means you have 7 wins, 13 losses. Now, what does that do, right? That means that when you win 7 times, that's a 21 R, right? And then when you lose 13 times, that's, well, minus 13 R. Okay, so check this out. Here's what happens. If you're risking 1%, and this is how it plays out of these 20 trades, right? So what happens here? It'll take, so hold on, I'll show you here net. All right, so net, you have plus 8R. Guess what? All right, so now you have plus 8R after 20 trades. So if you're risking 1% per trade, and at the end of 20 trades, right, 20 trades, you have 8%. So guess what? You just passed a challenge. Okay, sweet, you got it done at 1%. However, that's assuming that you can follow your trading plan perfectly, and that 1%, even if, because inside of these 20 trades, you won 7 and lost 13, but what if those losses, you encountered 4 back to back to back to back at 1% risk? Would you be able to continue to take the exact trades that you're supposed to? Would you have a 100% disciplined trading at 1% risk, losing like that? Can you stomach that? Right? Will that influence your decision making? Assuming you trade it, execute it perfectly, then cool. Trader 1 passes their challenge in 20 trades. Okay. Well, what about trader 2? Right? Trader 2, assuming they have the exact same thing, it's going to take trader 2 40 trades to make their 8%, because again, it's half of the risk. Okay, so 40 trades. And then it's going to take trader 3 almost 60 trades. Think about that. Because if 20 trades, because you have to think, because you got to do 8%. Right? So how do you figure out, assuming that, like, I'm just, remember, this is just, I'm giving you guys a random example, but how would you figure this out? So 8%, and then you divided that by 0.3%. So obviously, let me just pull out a calculator here. So you have 0.08 divided by 0.03. Wait, no, hold on. 8 divided by 0.3. That definitely doesn't make any sense. Okay. So here's what I need, right? This here gives us 26.67 R. So I need 26.67 risk reward. Because you got to be 0.3% when you win. If you risk 0.3%, then when you win 0.3%, that's 1 R, right? An R is how much you risk. So you make 0.3%, that's 1 R. So you need 26.67 R to make 8%. All right, well, how do I do that? So if it takes 20 trades to make 8, if 40 trades to make 16, it'll, 60 trades. I mean, you guys are seeing, you guys can understand the math, right, and how everything works out. So it's gonna take some work, right? It's gonna take some work. So imagine here, right, if I had 40 trades, this is assuming 14 wins, 26 losses. But when you're winning 14, then you're actually making 42 reward on the upside, and then 26 on the downside. Now you're up 16. All right, not bad. So again, at 16R, we're still further away from this, right? We need to win more trades. So again, that's why this is going to take a healthy amount of trades. I mean, you got 60 trades. So if 60 trades that you take and you're only winning 35%, all right, well, now you're going to win 21 trades. This is a 63R now, but you're going to lose 39. And this is the work that most people just don't do, and this puts you at 24R, right? So you're getting pretty close. So you're going to have to take a little over 60 trades to to make it happen. So what if you've done this already? Over, right? Plus 60 trades. It's a little over. It's like 61 basically. Okay. So, all right. Now here's the thing. You have to take a lot more trades. But this is assuming that you're just trading your plan almost flawlessly this whole time. So then the question is, how many mistakes am I making on average? Like, what's my effectiveness rate? What's my proficiency rate? Out of 10 trades, do I take all of those trades responsibly? And like, out of all my opportunities that I see, am I executing these things well? And if I'm not, then okay, now I know why. Now this is assuming you're taking, right, all of these examples is just what you're doing. And I don't know if that's going to be the case. So, but okay, how long would it take you to take 60 trades? That could be 3 months. I don't know. That could be 2 months. It could be 1. I'm not sure. And then because it's taking longer, are you making mistakes? Is it inconsistent? So this is just some examples on how you guys can, and this is more advanced stuff, but yeah, I mean, this is how you kind of have a better understanding. So that's why some people pass these things faster than others. But also one thing you need to keep in mind is how detached are you to the account. So the chances of you blowing this account are way less if you have less risk. Now at 1%, for example, so let's go back to Trader 1. That took 20 trades, which was 7 wins, 21R, 13 losses, at minus 13, which gave us a net of 8R in this example. Okay, that's cool, but if this trader, if the 10 of the 13 losses, if 10 just happened in a row, then you just blew it. Or you let's say you lose 5, you win 1, you lose another 5, you win 1, you lose, and then now you blew it. So the chances of losing it are higher for sure, and then the chances of you breaking your own rules are also higher if losing streaks are influencing you to make mistakes. So those are the things you want to keep in mind. This is just giving you the facts and kind of showing you what can work for you. Now you guys can just let me know if this is giving you more clarity on your process, on just giving you guys some help. But yeah, I wanted to give you some perspective on your question because it's normal. So I wouldn't be worried about it. The fact that you've had it for so long is amazing. Like, it's not a bad thing. That's actually incredible. And can you talk about your mistake? For sure. Yeah, go ahead. If you want the more context, the better. I can obviously help you out. Someone asked, I've had the same account. Right now I'm experiencing drawdown, but I didn't make a whole bunch of money. But after listening to your videos, I realized my mistakes. Cool. That's what you want. Yeah, that awareness is everything. I was in a swing trade giving me 7%, so I forgot to set break even. So the trade hit me out on break even, but it affected me mentally since. Oh, okay. All right, so cool. Now, in regards to something like that, I guess that it's who cares? Like 7% is nothing out of the ordinary for you. You got to understand that. Right, 7% is normal. Like, you got that. Like, even at 0.3 risk, that's actually crazy. That's a 20. That's gnarly. That's a big trade. But the thing is this, like, it's pretty cheesy, but if you're gonna operate out of fear if you're just thinking about the past and what you've done, etc. And in trading, yesterday's home runs definitely don't do. They do help, because what you made the other day, it gives you a positive equity curve sometimes. But in this case, if it ended up as a scratch, you just got to move on. Like, that's one of the best things about trading, is that you can reset every day, every moment. You're not confined. This is not a sport in which you're playing a specific moment, and that moment can never be relived. And you either win the game and you win the league, or you don't. That's not this, right? Every trade gets you closer to your objective, whether it's because you got better, you learned something different, you gained more experience, or you took a loss and it's just a part of this series of probabilities that play out. So in regards to, losing or going up and coming back down, that's actually one of the hardest things that people struggle with. It feels worse when you were so close and then it kind of slips through your hands, but that's the taste of success. And in anything, in my opinion, obviously it's just my beliefs, like you get to keep who you are most of the time, right? You can get a taste of it, but you'll only get a taste if that's just not, if that's only a moment of you. So like, it's like, I literally said this today earlier. As people, our behaviors, our habits are sometimes just like wicks. So sometimes we spike up and we have these brief moments of brilliance, but if that's not who you are consistently, then you may not get to keep that. So you giving it back to the market is just a reflection that, hey, like, okay, like you have to learn more. Maybe if you were a bit more experienced, you would have had already some sort of strategy on how to partial out or when to take, your profits. Or also keep in mind that 7%, well, if you were following your plan and it just wasn't time to exit yet, then it just wasn't time for you. And that's it. So what I'll say is this, guys, I'll give you an example. I've had bigger trades that I ended up not realizing that I forgot about already. So like, I'll get let that be, like, there's always a bigger moment that's coming for you. And I wouldn't really be tripping on it. Like, at the end of the day, like, it wasn't even real. It's all simulated anyways. So I would say the fastest thing you can do is just leave it behind. Know that better days are ahead of you, and that's it. Like, that's the mindset that you have to keep, is understanding that wasn't the last time. Like, if you know you're not a one-hit wonder, then just keep on taking the right setups. All right. So I think now that we got past that, we can move forward. Anything that you guys have here that you want to share, feel free to do that. I wanted to just pass a go. That's why I never look at getting profit. Painful. Oh, I've done this. And here's the thing. I've done this. I've taken trades. There was an account that I was like, I closed it thinking I had passed, and then it was just a little bit short. And somehow that went like almost all the way back. But then, just kept trading and eventually got it done. So someone said, Raul said, even if you go below, adapt and rebuild your trading plan to accommodate your risk tolerance after losing to gain confidence again. Exactly. Thank you, Raul. Appreciate that. Also, I want to add, there's nothing better than experiencing getting so close, the market coming back, because the moment that you go and do it and you get the job done, that moment is amazing, because then your belief just goes up so much more. It goes up so much more. Because you're like, wow, like, I really was able to either claw out a drawdown or go through this roller coaster. The biggest thing that I think pressures traders is focusing so much on time, on when is it going to be my moment, when is it going to be my time. So I say let go of that more. Mike, so I can be down like 5% in a 10K, I can bring it back up, but once I break even, I go back down again. Okay, well, if that's the case, then the answer, the question you always want to ask yourself is, okay, what am I losing it because I'm making mistakes, or is it just that I'm just losing trades that I'm supposed to be losing? And I also want you guys to reset your mindset. Like, guys, the best companies in the world do 20% a year. So you got to look at it based off of risk reward. Now, everyone that's at the workshops, you guys are gonna get some sauce at these workshops. We're gonna dive into some of these things. So it's like not a bad thing. If you're fighting to be at zero and you've been trading for less than a year, you're doing things really right. It's actually a good sign. Again, the thing is, we get impatient on when we think it's like supposed to work out. So the biggest thing to measure is, am I taking the quality setups? Am I ignoring good setups? why am I ignoring good setups? And then how consistent is the risk that you're taking with those specific ideas? But I'm going to move on from this, guys. I mean, good questions and things like that, but I do want to get into the charts. Okay, total market cap. This is basically a reflection of cryptocurrency. And I mean, some would say that we are back. We are back, baby. We are back. That's what my brother would say right now. So like we have here higher highs. We mad chilling up here. And so what I think could happen at this point, I personally see a lot. One, we have a lot of imbalance. At some point, we're going to get back down to here. Probably get back down to here as well. Now, if you're going to compare this to Bitcoin, which is probably what most people want to see, because everyone knows those numbers, like what are we talking about? So, in my opinion, I know no one wants to hear this. Everyone just wants this thing to go moonshot, and maybe it does. But if we do start getting some healthy pullbacks, I think at least we get back to 63K. But really, I think we can get back to 60,000. But I believe, especially if we can stay up here for a bit, like if we can trade up here for quite a bit, maybe a couple days, then I think we can kind of just like wick into these areas, like wick into these 60K and below, and then from here just moon. Like here we can go and do that thing. But I really want to see price stay up here for a bit. We haven't been at these levels for, some time now. Like the last time we were at these 70K was in early April. The all-time highs we saw here in a little over 2 months ago. That was March 14th, Pi Day. So it's been over 2 months since we saw all-time highs, and right now we're pretty close again. So at this point, this looks like, guys, textbook reaccumulation all day. You can't even deny that fact right now. So yeah, I think we can get all the way down to here, back around 62.60, and then from here I think we can go. If this just goes now, cool. But yeah, this is what I think is a possibility. Maybe we go higher, but at some point I think we get down to here and run. And the reason I think like right now, this had been consolidating like this for over a month. For over a month, it was like, come on, do something, do something. And at this point, I finally did. Everyone's like, yes. Oh, thank God, everything's back up, and everyone's stoked. And if you're on the side of that and you're like, no, I wanted it to go down more, and not everyone's going to be happy, ever. But I do think, one, there's some balance. I feel very strongly about getting back to 62.5, 63, and then in terms of like my leverage positions that I would like to take would be a 60K and under. But this does look like, when you zoom out, when price sweeps these lows and gets into this area, here we have this liquidates everybody gone. No one thought it was going to break these levels. So once this cracks under, especially a daily close, the panic ensued. It's going to 52. It's going to 40. It's going to 0. And one of the things that I said on this channel, you can go back to the Sunday, which was right here. Sunday is like May 5th. I said, look, guys, like the way the market came down and came back up, it really looks like the intention was not to create lower lows and entice sellers. It really looks like this wants to be bullish. This looks like eliminate retail buyers and let the market roll. So now let me do something real quick, guys, because I want to make sure that the stream doesn't get cut off or anything. So all right, cool. So yeah, the market popped off from here, saw it really hold these levels from the past. Like I said, I think we have in balance 62.50 to 63,000. I feel pretty strong about. I see liquidity here, so I do think that there's a decent chance that we clear that. So yeah, that's what I think in terms of like, if I were to imagine like I'm just not in crypto yet, and I'm like, man, I really wanted a chance into this. I would start dialing in at 62,500. That's what I would do, and then 60,000 under, especially if I'm trading with margin, or if like I'm futures trading. Let's go. That's that moment for sure, for sure. Hi Mike, I learned so much from you. Thank you. Appreciate you. What's up, Argentina? What's good? So, if you have specific cryptos you want me to look at, toss them my way. I'll take a look at those. And then, with that being said, I mean, you guys, you can look at ETH too. ETH went bonkers today. You know, looking here at the majors, you had one of the biggest daily candles I've seen out of ETH like ever. Huge move. I don't know if I've ever seen a day like this. Not recently, 20% in a day. That's nice. That's nice. That's real nice. I'll see you on Phoenix for sure. I'll see you at the workshop, man. Just a couple days. So at this point, things are looking good. I'm sure right now we should be seeing some profits cycle out. They're probably going to start hitting some meme coins right now. So, you know, some of the big ones, I'm sure the big ones had a good day today. Like the big ones of this season. You know, I'm not talking about the OG big ones, but I'm talking about this season. Pepe had a big day. Looks like it cracked well over 25%. Pretty good. Let's check out Bonk. Bonk had a nice day today as well. Bonk popped off a casual 31% in the last 24 hours. I mean, I bet you a whole bunch of everybody did. So, I mean, yeah, I think money's probably going to cycle into here. Utility, what? What is utility? Crypto's useless, right? So, all right. Again, at some point, man, I want to have some more regular crypto sessions, but for now, we did like a 10-minute spree here. Let's get into some indices, considering that there's no US dollar news tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of indices. Now, today was a slower day, like for the entire day in terms of currencies, because, you know, you had CHF holiday, not that CHF ever does anything anyways, but you have Euro, right, holiday, Canadian dollar as well. So a little slower on that side. USD, nothing crazy in my opinion, but what's coming next is what matters here, and it's that we have CPI on Tuesday. So CPI, 7:30 a.m. Chicago time. We are roughly 11 hours away from this news event. I think we're going to get some pretty good volatility, and I had a couple of things that I was looking at that I was curious about that I'll talk about for the Canadian dollar stuff. But because there's no dollar news tomorrow, and I know most of you trade New York session, I do want to look at indices just so that we're ready for what tomorrow can bring us, and then we'll also look at Canadian dollar. Now, today we did see more price discovery. You know, obviously, US 30 has been on a rampage for about a month, and we did crack all-time highs once again today. I'll very briefly go over the setup that we took today, because I do think it was just a textbook setup. So this during briefly after New York Open, I think maybe 15-30 minutes after New York Open, we did get our entry here. And so the market was working its way down. Now I was in between trading US 30 or trading S&P, but today was one of those mornings where US 30 and NASDAQ actually are trading in opposite directions. So US 30 came crashing down right at the New York Open. That's this specific candle right here. All right, we see the market just start to crush it. It drops like 100 over about 110 points in a matter of 15 minutes. So it comes crashing down while that's going down and NAS is going up. And so NAS also is approaching a key level as well, but it's a counter trend setup. So this dropped, getting into our zone to then continue in the trend, while Nas went up, going into an area where you could normally see sells, but it's going against the trend. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather take first of all, I always take the setup that gets to the key level last. So the weaker of the set. In this case, obviously they're not pairs, they're indices, so the asset. So yeah, US 30 got to the zone a little bit after Nas did. So Nas here, we had some small time frame stuff. So Nas was getting into here. US 30 wasn't at its zone yet. So it just stayed out of Nas and then let US 30 get to its zone. Pull the trigger here. And the reason I entered so much higher than I normally would is because of this guy right here. This 15-minute bearish candle as the market is going up. Here, yeah, this was the one right there. So seeing that we had this bearish candle in this imbalance, this always looks to lure in sells. So we knew we can see an exchange of buys here. And so yeah, took it right there. Our drawdown was crazy drawdown this morning, man. We experienced about a point of drawdown and then saw the exit. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty good setup now, but whatever. Obviously you guys are like, all right, Mike, I don't care. That good for you, right? Good for anyone that was on that, but we're here right now. So tell me about now, right? Tell me about what matters now. And so what we see here is now, despite this massive move up, this kind of, and it's interesting because indices usually don't, indices and crypto kind of move together usually. So the fact that we saw indices crash like this and then crypto go up was kind of surprising. But what we are seeing right now is a shift in momentum, because we saw this high, we did get above here briefly, but it lost all that steam. This came up and was like, okay, higher high, and so the market just lost all of its momentum over here, where we have, here's where we would sell. And why? Because here we had, these were previous levels of resistance, so market having a hard time breaking above here. Finally clears those highs. This lures in buyers that want to kind of chase the momentum. Clears out retail sellers that were all in this zone. And then from here, I mean, the market just worked its way down. It looks like, oh, maybe it's time to reverse, and then just really goes and works its way down. We get below the previous low. And not only that, we get below the lows below those lows, and prices settled into these levels very well. So it wasn't just a big spike down and then a quick move up. Price really settled in to these this bearish structure. So, you know, now what used to be very bullish, higher highs, higher lows, etc., now we are seeing that momentum fade, and now the direction of the market is actually bearish. So seeing the market move in this fashion, I would wait for some pullbacks to this area to take some sells with US 30. So yeah, I mean, if we get a move to here, all the way back to these areas, definitely could see the market, you know, work its way back down. Something like this looks very possible. Now, before I ever say, hey, this is exactly what I would do when it comes to indices or really anything now, I want to know what correlates. I want to know the correlating assets and how do those look? Like, what is the market showing us there? And so we'll take a look at NASDAQ, right? If we take a look at NAS, we see NAS did not drop the same way. Look at how different the market looks here. US 30 just plummets. Oh, it loses so much momentum. NAS? Not really. So it's like, what's going on? What's happening here? So now, if I were to be looking for buys, I would definitely be leaning on NASDAQ. Like NAS, we saw the dips to the downside, and this thing just rips. So I would be looking maybe for some buys over here somewhere, but it's not even that clear. Yes, you see a big move down, which takes out some of the money. So yeah, you know what, you could argue and say, I think this is a great buy zone, but I mean, US 30 looks a lot cleaner anyways. Price has been bullish, so maybe some reversals around here can make sense. Here we did see though, when NAS sweeps these lows, this definitely clears out retail buys, and it comes just flying back up. At the moment, comes back down. Looks like it even rejects where the sell-off happened before, but it was just so mellow. Here you see the quick reversal goes up like 30 something points. The drop here was the same thing though. It was like 35, 37 points. So we maybe already even saw the close of this sell with the push up here, or with these movements. So I'm not necessarily looking for buys in the structure that it's at right now. NAS may actually go lower, and the reason that I might even be interested in a position here is just because since NASDAQ and US 30 are kind of moving in opposite directions, you don't have to follow the correlation. You can approach them independently, but you know how we wait for the lagging setup? When they're moving in opposite directions, they're still going to get to the key zones. And so I still would trade whatever gets to the key zone last, assuming that it's just going to hold the stop loss in a much better fashion. And then from there you have S&P and S&P 500. Since NAS and US 30 are moving in opposite directions, S&P doesn't really know what to do. So it really does basically nothing. When US 30 and NAS move away from each other, then S&P is just the middle child. That's it. It's just the middle child, and you just kind of stay out of it. So yeah, this is what I'm waiting for right now when it comes down to NAS or US 30. We got these ideas. To me, US 30 looks pretty textbook. We just got to be patient. So what I would do is I would set an alert. This is roughly a 50-point zone, about a 45-point zone. So something you can expect. It looks like a good risk to reward idea. But yeah, let me know, guys. Let me pull up the chat here. All right, see you Sunday. Yes, sir, Miguel. I'll see you soon, bro. And for those of you that are going to be at the workshops, but you haven't bought your ticket yet, check the link in the description. I believe that it's in there. And then you guys can lock in, depending on what cities you guys are at right now. And bring a friend, or all of them. So, okay, we got these. These are setups that I knew for sure that I was waiting on. I sent some ideas. I'll give you guys some freebies since I sent these out earlier today. But someone just brought it up in the chat. The dollar peso looks signature setup. But actually I think it's two setups. Yeah, I think I have two marked up. One way up here that requires more time, but this one right here is it's a closer range shot. And this is playing out. Yo, what? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? I drew this in the morning. I drew this like to a T. Drop. That's wild. But anyways, so yeah, this is now confirming structure. Bearish. When price goes below this low, it's holding this down super well. We can see that the prices that are trading at these levels, these are not prices that are brief. These are not like flash crash. The market gets onto these prices, but they don't really want them. These are like, okay, it's established. Dollar peso is trading at 16.55. So we know that the structure is bearish. The intention is that these lows are valid. So now, yes, we can wait for reversals. And I do think that we'll have selling opportunities in these areas. So if I wanted to sell the USD peso, I would be looking for ideas over here. And when could this play out? I don't know if this is gonna happen tomorrow. Wednesday, I mean, we have FOMC meeting minutes. These are not interest rates. This isn't the press conference. So it might be a bit volatile, but I'm not expecting anything crazy. We might get more out of the unemployment claims and the manufacturing services than anything. So I'd say probably a couple days for this idea. I have an alert set up, but my recommendation, because you guys, you can watch this, pause it, replay, draw this up on your chart, set the alerts. I like entries around 16.63. So yeah, this is what I like with dollar peso. It looks clean. It looks just textbook. I mean, what I would say, if you don't trade this, test it with the demo account. Talk to whoever your broker is. Ask about lot sizes. Ask about contract sizes. Make sure you just have everything on point. But the risk is always the same. And then, but yeah, just do your homework. Do your homework with everything and see. Now, considering with all this being said, the market right now with the dollar peso has been recovering the aggressive bull run that it went on here in mid-April. So right now it's just been a slow and steady downtrend working its way down. We're very close to where we saw a very big sell-off. So I think we are approaching like this, basically 16.50. That's kind of where I think we can get to. So if I'm going to take a setup here with dollar peso, I do think we're going to get all the way down to some key levels from the past that we're looking to get into. This is here, you start getting to like a daily level. So if I were to take a sell like this probably is going to look like a swing trade, in my opinion. I would be looking for a swing trade, and this is looking like almost a 10R in my opinion, a little over. Yep, 10 point. I mean, we could just call it 10.5, call it a day. So this looks good to me. You ask me, I'll take this trade any day. If this trade, for example, let's say it gets to the zone and then it doesn't reverse strong. Let's say this goes over here, I sell and then just hit stop loss. That's okay. I would take this setup every single time. Wouldn't over leverage, just like everything else. Probability, risk reward. Looks clean. Looks super clean. So that's dollar peso. Is CAD going up tomorrow? I'll tell you right now. You ever plan on making? Yeah. I do gotta make a futures video. I've just been lacking on making that video. Someone asked me about gold. Yeah, I can go over gold real quick. So gold, wow, it did play off that level. I didn't take gold, and it's fair. In my opinion, it just didn't follow my plan. I wanted to see a more convicted structure. We didn't quite get it. But here's where we started to see the sweep of the high, because we cleared liquidity here, and then the market worked its way down. I wanted to see price stay down here a little bit longer. I felt like we went bullish really quickly. And it got right to the open of the buy positions, and it looks like it closed it, and now, I mean, it is playing out, but this isn't a trade that I feel like this was a disciplined trade, and by not being in it, I followed my plan. Again, I just have a certain approach that I have with structure, and I want the market to really show us that, okay, prices at these levels, and because of the competitive prices, not just because it wicked into something. So yeah, maybe we missed out on gold, but either way, I wouldn't have taken it there anyways. I think I would have been looking for a higher entry. So yeah, either way, I mean, whatever. And then silver's been super aggressive on both ends. So interesting that silver went all the way back up, basically made equal highs, and then is dropping right now. I mean, metals are doing their thing. They're being weird. Um, let's see. What else did I have? I still haven't looked at. I will briefly just talk about how awesome, how amazing natural gas has been just flowing. We have cracked the 15R realm with natural gas. We spent months talking about this idea, and the longer it was squeezing, the bigger the payout, or the pop was going to be. And we're here, right? We're seeing it for about 3 weeks. It's just been basically on a rampage. So, man, God, I love it. From here, getting back to just US dollar based ideas and looking at a couple charts, and I'm going to wrap up here shortly. But, the pairs against the dollar are working their way down. I personally don't have any entries with any of these ideas at the moment. I'm staying out of the market. I don't like anything that's happening right now with the market. I do want to see GBP USD. I have a couple ideas here, so let me get to a higher time frame. I did want to see price go a little bit higher, so let's see what happens. But here's what I had marked up, and I've had this marked up for quite a bit, but we saw it here, and let me go ahead and reel this in. But there was a massive push here on the daily time frame, like a huge move to the upside, in which this massive candle swept retail sellers and then came crashing down. The market came close to the zone in April, because this happened in March, but so it came close in April. Then again, a couple days back, we finally got to the zone where the institutional buy can mitigate. So, for example, if the market now, because this goes up we're talking, this thing pops off like 85 pips. So if the market were to drop, something like that, 80 something pips, then I would say, okay, yeah, that's it. Like, the market played out. Let me delete my pending order. We got some more room to go still, right? So I do think we can see sells, and I was kind of aiming for this. Here was where we've seen resistance in the past. This is also a major quarterly level at 1.2750. We have that sitting right around the 86 level, which oftentimes, these fib levels can function as kind of like a resistance support type of situation. So when you do have a few correlations, it just feels like it's a bit more likely to happen. And so with this, I think it would be, this follows my plans to a T, to taking a sell and selling this off of basically these quarterly levels, these major quarterly levels, from one to the other. So from like 1.2750-ish to 1.25-ish, like right around these zones. I like these areas. So this, in my opinion, would give us roughly a let's say 4.44 R. That looks good to me. So 4.44 R, that's music to my ears. This is what I have going on. I just drew out the scenario here. Give me a second. My bad. There we go. So this is the overall kind of what I see in the market. The fib levels honestly wouldn't even have to matter too much. I can honestly just delete them. And it's more about what money is doing, what price is doing. And we have quite a bit of imbalances. So I think the GU sell just makes a lot of sense in this example. So here's what I have. Again, guys, study this, mark them up yourselves, mark up the chart, see it go down. Again, I'm doing daily time frame because I already went on the smaller time frame to see what was going on over here. I'll break this down further on the New York session in less than 12 hours. So I'll be live with you guys. I'll go deeper into this idea, and I'm gonna do a flash breakdown with the Canadian pairs, so you guys are ready. There was two main ones that I was looking for, and then we'll leave it at that. CAD CHF. I think I talked about this one. I might have talked about this one last week, but CAD CHF. We saw this clear these lows, liquidates these equal lows. Retail buyers goes flying, giving us higher highs. Just steady structure up here, and then I think we can work our way back down and then continue to trade. So CAD CHF, liquidity, sweeps that. We follow along with the trend. The market stays bullish. Higher time frames also validate this idea, so that looked good. From there, if we looked at other ideas, not much else was giving potential setups. There wasn't a potential idea that I had here with GBP CAD, but what I wanted was, can we get lower lows? Can the structure show us that we're bearish? And it didn't. It was getting there. And then when I was hopping off my live streams earlier, I said, guys, if we go lower low and we get this structure, then we can look for sells. But that's not what happened. So we didn't. And hopefully you guys are coachable, following your own rules and not just trading what you want to happen, what you're just naturally pulled to. So that's not the course that you want to take. It's just not really gonna happen consistently. Same thing with USD CAD. I said, hey guys, I want to see us get lower lows. If that happens, then we can take sell. But if we don't, then no dice. So yeah, I mean, guys, I know we went through a bit crypto, some training on the, just like going through the process of a trader. We dove into some crypto stuff, etc. So, yeah. Mike, ¿qué horarios das clases en Go Live? Puedes revisar el calendario porque es diferente. Do you break down your strategy step by step with your mentorship if you don't have? Yeah. It's from zero. Yeah, we have the course for that. You go from zero, you walk through it. Because the thing too, it's not about even learning how to teach or how to trade, like exactly like me or the smart money way. The goal is for you to be able to build your system that you can follow. So like obviously I show you what I do and what works for me, and then based on your personality you can start to figure out, okay, these entry strategies work for me, this risk management works better for me, this exit strategy works better for me, because I am impatient, so I want to be in the market less time, or I can't be in front of them, the charts all the time, so I'm just gonna let it ride, and I have a bigger time frame perspective. But yeah, we do everything from scratch, and then obviously we break everything down together. But yeah, if you guys want to know more, then just fill out the form, and then if it makes sense and you qualify, then either way I'll reach out to you. But if it makes sense, we can start something. Otherwise, sometimes you just might not be there, and you might have to work on a couple other things so that it's worth it for you guys, because that's my goal, for it to be worth it for everybody. So yeah, but yeah, I told you, Zoe, shoot me a message, man. If you were just getting into crypto today with the knowledge you have now, what would you invest in? That question is so it's so interesting, because none of it makes really a lot of logical sense. It's more like sentiment. Like last time around, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, Raul, bro, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'll see you in San Antonio tomorrow. But the last round, I was like, for example, 2020, I was definitely in. I took some micro caps for sure, and that was fantastic. But I didn't do any meme coins. This time around, personally, I like following the pulse of how it's moving, and I mean, obviously the returns are there, so I'm not really. I think majority of it is just you're just day trading attention, and so that's how I look at it. I'm looking at where is the attention flowing in and out, not so much like is this going to change the world, because at the end of the day, like the market is just it's going to move, like it's going to move. So okay, let me just trade the attention, and that's about it, really. But yeah, what I would know now is, one, obviously I think the most important thing, guys, is have an exit strategy. Pay yourself. Don't be afraid to pay yourself, but leverage your skills first. Like, know what you know, and with the skill sets of understanding how markets flow, do that. And then the biggest lesson that I had recently was, at least sometime last year, was understanding that like stock market, crypto market, like these different marketplaces, they are all really one big puzzle. So for example, my ultimate crypto entries didn't trigger because stock market mitigated everything it needed to take care of, and now the market, the entire world went bullish. Like I'm saying, like just money overall, and so crypto followed that because crypto's a lot smaller. So yeah, I think just having that would be the biggest thing. But I'd say overall, guys, you don't have to be a trader. You can be an investor, have money coming in whatever ways that you have money coming in. But either way, everyone should be investing, at least just to defeat inflation, and then from there, build that habit, automate the habit of investing, and go from there. But yeah, guys, much love. Obviously, there's so much more we can cover, but yeah, I got a lot going on. So much love, guys. Much love, y'all. We'll be live here again next Monday. Actually, I don't think I'll be live next Monday. I believe I'll let you all know. I'll be in a whole bunch of cities, so I don't think I will be live. If I'm at a workshop, I won't be live. But if I'm not, then I will. All right, guys. Much love. Peace.